Megan Benson-Burrow,
Here.
Michelle Jackson,
Here.
Kate McKee,
Here.
Nathaniel Melton,
Present.
Deb Olson,
Here.
Marcia Schurz,
Here.
Paul Johnson.
Here.
And stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the agenda, please?
I'll so move. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Also, motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And we're going to move on to the, number 3 is the informational session, the board reports. Just a brief overview of the committee of the whole meeting that was held on July 6th. And it started at 5:30, and we had presentations regarding the referendum project update, the CISA 10 construction management update, which I'm assuming all of us have looked and reviewed, the environmental testing proposal, which is also coming before us tonight, high school HVAC system project proposal, again, which is also coming for a vote in front of us tonight, the finance comparison from Baird regarding the percentage interest and money savings with the referendum project, and we did the achievement gap reduction end of the year update. Mr. Hvac gave that presentation. There was questions. If anybody had any additional questions, I am hoping that you reached out to Mr. Hvac for those answers. Review of the 2019-20 staff perception survey results, and that stuff was also given to you. The board received and placed on file the class of 2020 graduation ceremony update, which went off without a hitch last Thursday, which was very nice. Also, we had a hiring update, elementary interventionist position, behavioral support specialist position, middle school principal position, and we did the review of the first draft of the behavioral support specialist job description. We had a consensus to move that forward to tonight's meeting for a first reading. Review of the 2019-2020 District Health Services Annual Report. The board received and placed on file. And review of the 2020-2021 academic standards. Dr. Eslin stated this is an annual requirement for all school districts, and that will be for approval tonight, standards for academic for this year coming up. And I believe that was all that we had. So are there any questions regarding that? Does anybody have any questions? Or okay, all righty. Then we're going to move on to number 4, which is community comments. And per Wisconsin statutes 19.83 parent 2 and 19.84 parent 2, the board will allow public comments. The community comment section will be limited to 45 minutes. The time for each individual will be divided by the number of people signed up for community comments. The community comment section of the meeting agenda provides members of the community with a chance to speak directly to the board. It is a valuable opportunity for community members to have questions, concerns, requests, and ideas heard directly by the school board and administration. Participants are asked to step up to the microphone so that everyone is able to hear when you speak. Providing your contact information on the community comments sign-up sheet helps the district follow up with you on your item.
There are none.
And there are no community comments this evening. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so then we're going to move on to number 5, the discussion and action items of this meeting tonight. And item A is consider personnel recommendations.
2 resignations coming before you this evening. Terry Larson, paraprofessional, 5 years of service. Tracy Bassett, middle school special education teacher, 12 years of service.
Can I have a motion to accept these resignations, please?
I so move.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'd like to thank these two for their dedicated years of service to the Spooner School District. We appreciate that everything you have done for our kids. Thank you very much. Can we have a round of applause, please?
You have 4 hiring recommendations before you this evening. Monique Clark, high school part-time guidance administrative assistant, replacing Heidi Chrisman, recommended by Mr. Schurz. Shannon Conroy, elementary school part-time general ed paraprofessional. This is a new position, recommended by Mr. Hopke. Melissa Giesregan, middle school principal, replacing Michelle Cobdy by David Aslan, and Michelle O'Connell, junior varsity volleyball coach, replacing BJ Wilson, recommended by Mr. Lucius.
And can I have a motion to accept these hires, please?
I'll make that motion.
A second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, well, we'd like to thank these people for doing these positions. Also, we'd like to welcome Missy Giesregan as the new SMS middle school principal. Would you like to say a few words? All right, everyone.
Say hello to everyone. Just want to say, I'm short, so I'll fit right in with the middle schoolers. I'm honored to lead the middle school here at Spooner, and I'm excited to bring my knowledge and skills to the district and work collaboratively with staff and working towards our mission here. So nice to meet all of you, and I'm sure I will see you at some time soon, I guess.
Yes, welcome, thank you.
Welcome.
Voluntary reduction, I'll read that one too, okay?
Okay.
All right. Yep, so you have 1 voluntary reduction coming before you this evening. Rhonda Carlton, and she's the 4K coordinator and early childhood special education teacher, looking for a voluntary reduction from 1.0 full-time equivalents to 0.8 full-time equivalent. And that's being, after working with Mrs. Carlton and fielding her request, that is the recommendation coming forward from Mr. Ham.
Do we have a motion to accept this voluntary reduction?
I will make the
And
motion.
a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. The next is item B, acceptance of donations.
Well, we have just a wonderful list of donations coming forward for your consideration for acceptance this evening. From the Spooner Garden Club members to the Spooner Elementary and Middle School Gardens and Garden Education, 2 garden hoses, 5 hand shovels, 5 hand claws, and 1 dandelion remover. From the American Heart Challenge to the Spooner Elementary School Physical Education Department, $300. Over 50% of the students participated in the Kids Heart Challenge. From Gary and Shannon Colbert, from Joe and Trudy Gronsky, and from an anonymous donor, funds towards negative food service accounts in memory of Carol Sorensen.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve these, accept these donations?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I want to thank everyone that has done donations for the school district. This is unbelievably nice of everyone to give us and the kids these particular donations. So thank you very much. It is a great help to the district. So, next item would be item C, is consider the HVAC system project proposal. So do I have a motion to approve this project proposal?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second. All those in, roll call. Any discussion? Has everybody had a chance to look over that project proposal? Is there any questions regarding that?
And just for the audience, I would just recap that just a little bit, if you could.
Okay. One moment, please.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Do you want to field this one?
Replacement of the second boiler in the high school, replacement of hot water heaters, replacement of heat pumps in the high school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Any further discussion? Okay, can I have a roll call vote, please?
Megan Benson Burrow,
Yes.
Michelle Jepson,
Yes.
Kate McKinney,
Yes.
Nathaniel Melton,
Yes.
Deb Olson,
Yes.
Marcia Schurz,
Yes.
Paul Johnson.
Yes.
Okay. Item D is consider the environmental testing agreement. Can I have a motion to approve the environmental testing agreement as presented at the COW meeting?
I would so move. I'll second.
Good.
Somebody will second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Anybody have any questions regarding that? Okay. And can I have another roll call vote, please?
Megan Benson Burrow,
Yes.
Michelle Jepson,
Yes.
Kate McKinney,
Yes.
Nathaniel Melton,
Yes.
Deb Olson,
Yes.
Marcia Schurz,
Yes.
Paul Johnson.
Yes.
All righty. Moving right along here tonight. Item E, consider the 2020-2021 academic standards as presented at the COW. This is when we designate the academic standards for the 2021 school year. We do this every year, and so this is just a revolving information regarding the standards. So can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, so item F is consider the first reading of the behavior support specialist job description. Can I have a motion to approve the first reading?
I so move. I'll second.
Is there any discussion on this?
Yeah, currently, because we don't have the funding, the way I understand it, this position's down the road sometime.
It is.
And due to what, we don't know what the needs are down the road. We don't know if we'll have the funding. I feel like we should table this whole description until later down the road to see if that's where we're really at with funding and all of those things, and see where we're at down the road instead of doing that right now, when that's just what my opinion is.
Okay. We were looking not to fill this position for the 2021 school year. The board has asked that the admin create a job description for this, so that is what we were presented. Is there any other discussion?
My question would be, if we were to approve the job description, it would not be filled until you came before the board again anyhow.
Right, and this
So
would
the
just be
only-
the first reading.
The only thing this would be doing by approving would be a standard for putting it out to post.
If and when
If
we
and
would
when
do
that
that.
were to happen.
Is that correct?
Am I reading
So,
it
so our
correctly?
board policy calls for a job description for every position.
Right.
So, as people will recall, the conversation on this position started more than 3 years ago. There's been an identified need for a number of years, and the 2020-21 school year was the year where we anticipated budget-wise that we'd finally be able to afford the position and be able to sustain it. Then all that's come on with COVID and some pretty significant uncertainty at the state level caused us to bring the recommendation a couple weeks back about tabling the hiring. I wouldn't see a situation where needs would change. This would be required if we posted the job, and it's the ability to have this position description done in our book of position descriptions, and then when the time comes, it is available for candidates that might be interested in applying. As a board, you always have the ability to change your policies, revise your policies, and revise your job description. So if there's a time in the future that you're feeling like this doesn't line up with what you believe the needs to be in the district, you certainly have the ability as a board to alter that.
I'll just express my thoughts on it, that the work has been done to show there is a need. The job description has been carefully considered and crafted in order to help meet those needs, and unfortunately, we're just in a place where we're not able to fill that now, but I'd like to have it, I think it would be a good thing to have the job description ready so that when we are able to fill it, we can.
And again, this is just the first reading, so this is not, this is not the second reading, so this is the beginning of a situation where, at this point, the district has a need, and I don't believe it's not ever going to not have a need for that, but at this point, we are not going to fill that position. So, is there any further discussion? Anyone else?
Can I
Okay,
just
let-
ask a question?
Sure.
Sorry.
No.
Since we say it's the first reading, since I just understand, so before it gets posted, it has to have a second reading? Or no?
But, so the district policy is that the board has the ability to waive a second reading. That wasn't the recommendation that came forward, but there still could be, a board member could make a motion. There could be a modification to the motion on the floor with it, yes.
I think there's some confusion between the job description and the job posting. There's not any correlation between the two, so just because there's approval doesn't mean that the job's going to be posted. It means that we're gonna put it in our book of job descriptions, keep it on file, and if we get to a point where we can post it, then it's done, and we don't have to worry about it.
But before it be posted, it'd come before the board to be approved before we post.
The
Right.
position itself would come back before the board to be approved, because per policy, per the board's policy, any new positions within the district need approval.
But at this point, this motion is not waiving the second reading, correct?
Correct.
Right, the motion and the second did not address waiving a second reading.
So where we're at is we're approving a position, a job description, but we're not approving a position.
Yes, sir. Yep, that is correct.
We're gonna approve the job position, but not the position. So
Right,
that-
and just the first reading of this job description, so if it needs to be revised at all, that can come again to us, correct? Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Can I ask one question more?
Sure.
Sorry.
Nope,
Since I wasn't here before, this is not an administrative position, correct?
That's correct. It would be along the lines of a school psychologist or the specialist that we have for English language arts and math.
Okay, and they normally are not an administrative position, correct?
Correct.
Or am I wrong in
Yeah,
thinking that?
so this is a pretty unique assignment. Not a lot of districts have this.
Okay,
But, it was the determination, as we looked at the needs within the district, that we weren't looking for another administrative position. We were looking at someone that had some technical expertise and the ability to work with a wide variety of stakeholder groups to support kids that are having significant difficulty in school behaviorally.
okay, thank you.
We have a middle group of staff that are not administration, but they're not licensed teachers, which we have called professional staff in the past, and that's where this position would fall.
Thank you.
do we have any other further discussion?
One quick question,
Okay.
just to be totally transparent. As a board, before it transitioned, we had already voted to post this position without a job description, and then it was further discussed that we wanted that job description, correct?
In February, you approved the position, and at that point, the board had given the directive to the administration to develop a job description and bring that forward.
But not to post that position at that time.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Okay.
Okay.
Right, so there were some board members that had some questions and concerns that came subsequent to that February conversation. And, you know, it did take some time to resolve those, to provide that information. So then the next step was to bring the job description forward. Unfortunately, kind of parallel to that, our budget uncertainty took place. So, you know, that led us to the July cow consensus of not filling this position for this upcoming school year.
But
Okay.
if we were to do it again, it would have to come in front of the board again, is what I'm
Yes.
clarifying.
Is that
So no one would be hired into this job without your approval as a board.
And if we had some other information or more information or something else come forward for a second reading, that would come before us as well.
So we'd look to have the second reading next month, and to
Okay.
have this job description with whatever changes you'd recommend, if there will be changes, that would become part of our long list of approved job descriptions that we have.
Okay. Does everybody understand that now? Any further questions? Okay, well then, with that said, can we take a vote? Do we need a roll call vote on this?
No,
Okay.
you don't need to.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. All right. And then, oh, look. Call the meeting, we have adjourned. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I don't want to.
Meeting adjourned.